July 23rd, 2015. That was the day rock and roll saved my life. You see, my whole professional career has been a balancing act between fitness and music. I want to take it back to January 2013. Now, the band I was drumming for had just played a tour kickoff show at a place called Vern's Tavern in Calgary, Alberta. Now, people don't go to Vern's, they end up at Vern's, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we kill the set and we're tearing down and start talking about logistics of the tour. That's when my insides are ripped out with two simple words. We're done. Robbie and Josh dropped that bomb on the rest of us in the alley outside of Vern's 6 hours before we were scheduled to hit the road for Kelowna, the next stop on the tour. Now, with the band, I was the face. I was booking, I was PR, I was marketing, I was all the admin, I was the band. I also relied on 4 other guys to bring as much intensity and as much passion as I did. After they bailed on me, I hated the thought of relying on others to get the job done. They broke up my band, and I broke up with music. And I dove headfirst into sport, specifically a sport where I was in complete control of my outcome. Long track speed skating. It was just me versus the clock. No one else to get in the way of my success, right? Right. I was chasing the Olympic dream. Now, 2.5 years into my long track speed skating career, I had an opportunity to train in Innsbruck, Germany, at the Kia Speed Skating Academy. So I booked it, along with the Euro trip, naturally. Now, I'd like to take a personal moment here, because in hindsight, I would have done this part differently, for sure. I would have booked the Euro trip after the high performance training camp. You know, there's nothing like hitting the pub crawls of London, nightlife of Amsterdam and Berlin for a week before you hit a high performance training camp, right? You just gotta really challenge yourself. Needless to say, the first few days were rough. Now, I remember getting caught specifically in a train that turned out to be Team Poland when we're on ice at a pace that felt like Mach 3, right? These guys were pros. That, coupled with the pitchers of beer and all the shenanigans that I may have partook in, reinforced the impact a healthy lifestyle really had. Regardless, by some miracle, I had made a spot on the fall development team, July 23rd, 2015. That day, I also got an email from my airline offering a $300 discount to change flights to one that was leaving tomorrow. Now, in my head, this made a lot of sense because, you know, if I go home early, I can come back early and start training. Here's the catch. I had to leave like yesterday to make this flight on time. So I got the exercise physiologist to rip me up to the train station so I could catch a train, headed to Munich, and then connect later on an overnight to Frankfurt International. I made the train just in time. Relaxed, kicked back, right? Pulled out my phone, hit up the train Wi-Fi, and browsed the web. I remembered that there was a band called the Intergalactic Lovers playing a show in Munich, and I was just looking to see what day they were playing. Sure as shit, they were playing tonight, July 23rd. Awesome. So, train pulls into Munich, and I get out and ask the dude that's sitting on the curb, because, well, like hell, I'm gonna pay for data charging. Let's call this guy Helmut, all right, Helmut. Where's the Ampere? That's the venue they're playing. And, you know, I was still clinging on to the little starving artist mentality thing, so there's like, yeah, no way I was gonna check the data. So, talking to this guy, now he speaks about as much broken English as I do German, and he just points over the bridge into what looks like the Enchanted Forest, and I'm thinking, this guy's sending me to a death sentence, all right? But at the same time, I'm going, YOLO. Figured I'd be able to outrun anyone with my extreme athletic prowess. Now, keep in mind at this point, I look like I'm ready to hike the fucking Alps. Never mind go to a rock show at a nightclub, right? We're talking full-on training gear, 65-liter backpack, straight-up mountaineer style, all right? I figure, whatever. I cross the bridge into the Enchanted Forest where he's directed me. Okay, it's dark. It's way too quiet. I'm sitting, man, sitting there thinking, going like, oh, I walked into a trap. Helmut here has sent me into his goons that are going to jump me and steal my running shoes and my skates and all my training gear. And then I get around the corner and I hear it. Like, son of a bitch, you gotta be kidding me. Helmut, you were right. I come to this clearing and see this old factory warehouse just straight up converted into a nightclub right in the middle of the forest. That's what they do in Munich. You know, I make my way to the front where I meet the doorman. Let's call this guy Gunther. Now, he doesn't speak a lick of English, so he grabs his friend, probably a manager. Let's name him Hans. Okay, so Hans and I we start chatting. Tell him my story. He learns, oh, dude, you're a Canadian international athlete? Come on in. Don't worry about cover, which was great because it was something way out of my price bracket anyways. It was like 20 euros. Hans tells me, come in, buy a round, don't fuck shit up. Tip well, and you're good. Okay, there were only a few songs left anyway. So, show was great. Go check those guys out, Intergalactic Lovers. And now I'm hanging out just after killing, after the show, just waiting for the train, killing time, waiting to meet the band. They're absolute legends. We start talking shop when I notice the guitarist. He's Martin. He's going, rubbing his shoulder and his neck, right? Immediately, coaching hat pops back on, and I go grab my ball, this exact ball, out of my bag. All right, we get Martin up on the wall and start doing a self-massage technique that is now a staple in the Music Fit method, known as the 5-minute fix. Martin's just loving it, right? Starts telling the band, guys, we gotta bring this guy on tour. He's gotta come on the road for the rest of this. It's awesome. I feel great. I'm sitting there, ho ho ho, but I'm just a speed skater. I just dismiss it all. Anyway, we wrap things up, and I catch my next train. I'm en route back home to Canada. Now, somewhere over the mid-Atlantic, it clicked. I go, oh shit. I wake up. I was just like, oh, that's what I could do. I could coach musicians. But I was a speed skater now. I just happened to coach, Fast forward a few weeks. All right, I'm set to move to Germany. One last test and medical clearance and I'm good. Oh yeah, surprise! I had open heart surgery when I was a baby. Okay, so physical exertion was a big deal, and my cardiology team thought I had no business pursuing athletics. And they had some news that would forever change my life. After they got my chest MRI results, they found a problem, right? The wall on my right ventricle had increased in thickness by a whole millimeter in 1 year as a direct result of my training. Now, this was a direct recipe for disaster for somebody with my condition. Thicker walls meant higher pressure and therefore more stress on an already overworked heart. My cardiologist put the no-fly zone up, as you can imagine, and refused medical clearance. My skating career was done. We're done echoed in my head, and I retired from competition and fell into a year and a half of full-on darkness that is depression and anxiety. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I wanted to be. Then I discovered Storywork. Storywork taught me how to shift my mindset and take ownership of my life. My identity was whatever I wanted it to be, and none of it, all at the same time. I realized that I chose to retire from speed skating. I wasn't forced. Cardiology didn't make me. At the time, though, and before that, I chose to leave music. I wasn't forced to quit. I made that decision. Again, at the time, it was everyone else's. So after discovering how much I was projecting in those two areas of my life, I started to notice how out of control it was in many areas of my life. Relationships, career, finances, you name it. And that was big for me, because I certainly woke up. I started making decisions and owning them. No longer was I waiting for someone or something else to give me permission to do or to be. They all call me the trusted authority of musician wellness, internationally recognized keynote speaker and touring artist, Former speed skater, author, founder of the Music Fit Collective, blah, 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 you know. I just laugh. You know, for anybody out there that's struggling to find themselves, I would invite you to take a look around. Are you looking inside? Because anytime you point a finger, you got 3 pointed right back at you. Now, I learned how to love music, sports, coaching, writing, everything, and all at once. I was bound only by my beliefs. I learned how to love me July 23rd, 2015. I am Mike Schwartz, and I just happened to be really fucking good at me. Everyone else was taken. Thank you.